The media wants to pretend they don't understand our message. The media that is controlled by 5 corporations wants to pretend they don't understand our anti-corporate greed and corruption message. We have a cohesive message. And all these other issues lead up to that same message.
Yeah!
You're anti-war? Me too.
Yeah.
I don't like killing people. But if you don't think that money is why we go to war, you don't understand that Halliburton got the contract to rebuild Iraq before we ever went there. You're not getting it. You're against the coal train? How much money passed through whose hands to get a coal train to destroy our town? About the drug war, some people want to legalize marijuana, right?
Yeah!
Do you think the drug war and a for-profit prison system proves that there's money in keeping drugs illegal in this country? You got a little red light camera thing. Goldman Sachs is bringing you the red light camera. Enough said.
Technical difficulties.
Got some police brutality going on around the country too.
No!
Not here. Oh hell no.
No, not here! Yeah!
But who do you think is paying the politicians to get heavy-handed on the protesters? Who's paying them to tell the cops to do this?
Corporation!
Damn straight! The Oakland Police Department put an open letter out saying they're confused. They don't understand why they had to do what they had to do. In their second sentence, they said, we too are the 99%. We're fighting for their pensions. We're fighting for the police to not get laid off across the country.
Yeah!
We're fighting for all of them. I put my notes on the back of this thing here because we do have real specific grievances. And there are real specific solutions to what we need to do. All you have to do is take a look at Iceland. Look at what Iceland did. They had a crash, and the people decided they were not going to bail out the people that ripped off their country. They had a revolution. They took to the streets like we're doing, and they accomplished it. They changed their government, they changed their constitution, and they got the rip-off artists out.
Yeah!
We can follow their lead.
Yeah! Woo!
Let's see what I got here. I'm going to read something somebody else wrote. It didn't have a name on it, or I'd give them credit. But if anybody asks you why we are doing this, just say, you control our world, you've poisoned the air we breathe, contaminated the water we drink, and copyrighted the food we eat. We fight in your wars, die for your causes, and sacrifice our freedoms to protect you. You've liquidated our savings, destroyed our middle class, and used our tax dollars to bail out your unending greed. We are slaves to your corporations, zombies to your airwaves, servants to your decadence. You've stolen our elections, assassinated our leaders, and abolished our basic rights as human beings. You own our property, shipped away our jobs, and shredded our unions. You've profited off of disaster, destabilized our currency, and raised our cost of living. You've monopolized our freedom, stripped away our education, and have almost extinguished our flame. We are hit, we are bleeding, but we don't have time to bleed. We will bring the giants to their knees, and you will witness our revolution!
Hey everybody, my name's Rami Khalil. I'm from Socialist Alternative. And I just wanted to update people about something that happened last weekend in case you didn't hear. People may have remember I was asking people a week ago to go down to Seattle because the police had been making it very difficult for the protesters there to occupy Westlake Park. There had been a back and forth struggle to reclaim Westlake Park, and then the police took it back and didn't allow the protesters to have tents. And after this back and forth harassment from the police and the protesters trying to protest at Westlake, where the commercial hub of Seattle is, eventually the protesters decided to move up to Seattle Central Community College, which they felt would be easier to hold down, and they'd face less harassment from the police and be able to have tents there. And they also felt that it would be a really good way to link the Occupy movement with a community struggle that's going on. Because at Seattle Central Community College, like all the public colleges and public schools across the country, they're facing devastating budget cuts, tuition hikes, faculty are being laid off, staff are taking pay cuts and benefit cuts. And so I was here a week ago asking people to go down to Seattle to support that effort, to make that transition of the occupation there from Westlake to Seattle Central. And then the president of the college issued an open letter saying, absolutely not, I will not tolerate all these protesters coming in and occupying the South Plaza of the college. This is illegal. We may choose to prosecute. I'm worried about damage to the property. I'm worried about disruption to education. I'm worried about disruption to the farmers market. And we put out an appeal for lots of people to go down there because we felt if enough people came out and just occupied, that he would eventually back down. And we also put out an appeal for people to email and call the president of the college. And lots of people did that. And the faculty union played a decisive role in welcoming all the occupiers. The students had done a student walkout a couple weeks before of a few hundred students in support of the Wall Street protests. And a bunch of union leaders also met with the president of the college, as well as representatives of the faculty union and student representatives and Occupy representatives. They all met with the president. And what was fascinating is under all this pressure from students, the faculty union, other unions, from protesters all across the world actually, that were sending emails and phone calls, the president, it was very fascinating. He issued a new open letter on the day before the occupation was about to begin, and where he says that he had met with the representatives and all of his concerns had been addressed. We were going to make sure we clean up after ourselves. We were going to make sure that we don't damage the property. And he basically admits that whether he likes it or not, people were just going to do it anyway. And so he was basically accepting it. And then he said that he discovered a clause in the law that says it is legal to occupy.
Yeah! Woo! Yeah!
So that was a really beautiful victory. I was really excited to be a part of that, and I want to thank everyone who did send emails, who did make phone calls, who went down there. It's rare that we do have victories, but I think this was a victory, and I think the lesson is that if enough people stand tall, if enough people stand strong, and if we assert ourselves the way that the banks and Wall Street and the corporations always assert themselves, if we stand up and assert ourselves, if workers stand up and assert ourselves, if we demand an end to budget cuts to education, if we demand that Congress doesn't cut Medicare and Medicaid like they're proposing to do, you know, there are times, if enough of us get together, if we take a strong stand, if we get organized, we can have a victory. And that was really a beautiful victory, and that's a beautiful lesson. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rob.
How's it going? I just have a few quick questions. How many of you are students here?
Right here.
How many of you are parents or family members of students? How many of you know a student in your life?
Louder.
All right. I just wanted to let you all know about a few facts, which you maybe have heard before, but I think we need to hear again. Last week, the governor has released a budget proposal to cut state funding for higher education for another 15 to 20%, on top of what she has already proposed and what they've already cut for the past few years.
Speak up.
She's also decided to a proposal to suspend the state need program. Good. All right. The state need program and to eliminate the state need grant. So, and I'd like to also enter into your minds another bit of information. Which you've also probably heard, the corporate banks, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, receive a $96 million tax break to do business within the state, and that money can go directly towards higher education. That money is an expenditure on the banks, when it should be for us. And so I'm just letting you know that they are deciding that they are going to do this budget by the end of December, and that means we need to let them know that that we won't stand for it, that we're not going to let them take money away from us, take money away from our communities, and give them to Chase, give them to Wells Fargo, give them to Bank of America. So we have a interest list for those of you that want to get involved and help, because we need to mobilize now, we need to mobilize fast, we need to write our legislators, and we also need to continue what we're doing right here. We need to continue all of this, and I just wanted to let you all know that this is going on, that we are going to do as much as we can within the next few weeks to make sure that our community isn't hurt anymore, that we will not stand for less money for our communities and more money for these three things. Thank you.
Yeah!
Hey everybody, Walter Young here. Real quick, I was talking with a couple of the officers and thanking them for being so cool about what we're doing. Right. And they informed me that they believe in what we're doing. They stand with us. But how about it here for the crowd? We don't need to turn into Oakland or New York. You guys are doing it for the right reason. You're doing it for love, and you cannot stop love. You can stop hate.
Yeah!
You can stop violence. But once love's in the equation, look out, because here we come.
Yeah!
And I want to thank all of you who are standing here, because you guys are going to make the world a better place for my grandkids.
Yeah! That's right!
I was on the ground in Vietnam for 13 months, and I got to see a lot of our 56,000 brothers and sisters die over there for nothing. And we've now lost over 4,400 in Iraq. Just like Iraq, Vietnam was all about corporate profit. It had nothing to do with patriotism. No Vietnamese person ever harmed us, yet we were over there killing people we didn't know. That's my big agenda. We got to stop these corporations and the banks, because we stop them. That you guys won't have to go marching out to kill people you don't know. This is not fair. I'm here because I love all of you guys. You guys are all my brothers and sisters, and I thank you for standing with us.
Thank you.
Would you guys like to know what a revolutionary looks like?
Yeah!
I am a revolutionary. Revolutionaries these days come missing their teeth and wearing funky clothes and sleeping in cold, wet, soggy tents, and their feet never get quite warm. And they quit going home to Sumas and just bring their cat to them instead, because there's work to be done and we're doing it. And we talk to our friends and we get enthusiastic, and we're realizing there's a revolution, and we are it! This thing together. And the spirit of this camp is like something you will never, ever experience unless you're right in the middle of it. The camaraderie, the compassion, the sharing is what we want to see in this country, what we're working for. You will see some of us doing this. This is the new democracy. This is we agree. This is we like this. This is we want this to happen. Can I get a twinkle? Viva la revolution, you guys. I'm so proud of the ones of you who have stayed every night. We have Gandalf. We have her good one who's been there every night as security. We have had, and I don't even know their names, but I hug them all the time, because they are us and we are them. And we are all of you. And we're doing this. And any support you can give, we would love. Just come down and talk to us when it's dark and wet and cold. Come and play a game of chess or Trivial Pursuit. Just come down and say, we're with you, we are you. Thank you.
Thank you, T.